Welcome, everyone. Welcome to our Thursday evening self-healing class at First Church of Religious Science. Welcome to everyone signing in our Zoom call, and those of you who will be watching today on Facebook, YouTube, Insta, Spotify, X. I try to remember them all. I want to welcome all of you. If you're not watching on Zoom and you're able to be here during our broadcast time, just send us your contact information and we'll send you an invitation. We're happy however you find us. We get all of your comments, and so we appreciate your being here. Today's a special gathering. It's the 4th of July. We never really know to do a broadcast on a holiday or not, so we choose usually to do the broadcast on the holiday, even though there's people traveling, and because this is a significant day, not just for our nation, but also for us personally, as we explore the idea, the concept of freedom. We are created in freedom. We are individualizations of what we call God life or spiritual activity. And as you get into this teaching, you'll learn more and more that you have the ability to choose. You're created in complete freedom. So we talk about that in different lessons. So we're excited to have you here at First Church of Religious Science in our Thursday evening Louise self-healing class. As many of you know, we also have a creative living class. It's a broadcast class every Wednesday, hosted by Jimmy. And we have a Sunday morning lesson service. All of our lessons have time for personal sharing. We allow for at least a couple of minutes for anyone who wants to share. And we welcome people who are new to say, hi, I'm from whatever state you're from. And some of you find that to be one of the more interesting times of the service. It's a time for us to come together. Our gatherings, one and all, are free of charge. I know some of you are supporting us by sending us monthly checks or going to our chat and making donations, and we appreciate everything everyone does. Raymond Charles Barker, who is our founder here, he was the pastor and a teacher to Louise, would say that we have a rich father and we're supplied and supported. So we know that this church, this center, is a divine idea in the mind of the universe and supplied and supported, and we appreciate anything and everything anyone does. So let's think in terms of the 4th of July. I thought I'd mix up a little bit of history in with our self-healing class. In 1776, we had 13 colonies, if you might remember, and they declared their independence on July 4th, and they drafted the Declaration of Principles. Since then, this day has been celebrated as the birth of American independence. Independence Day is a time, usually now it's for leisure, it's time spent with families and traveling in a spirit of unity. Today, on this holiday, we reflect on this spirit of independence and how it also applies to our personal lives. I was always guided by Emerson, who always was challenging me, as far as me personally, when I was reading him, to be an individual thinker. So in this teaching, we seek freedom from everything, from our old thinking, from our old habits, from the stuff we were raised with that really doesn't support us. So we're always wanting to trade in lesser ideas for greater. So that's the freedom that we want. We want to rid ourselves of the negations or negativity that Ernest Holmes spoke of. We want to let go of old ideas, grievances, grudges, and anything that's in any way holding us back from living our best lives, being our best selves or our true selves, as some people say. Independence is a lot more than what we talk about in politics as a political concept. It's a deeply personal experience. What it involves, especially when we think of Louise Hay, is liberating ourselves from a lot of stuff that we have in our consciousness. All these internal fears, the language that would suggest that we're not okay, and that we're wrong or there's something wrong with us or someone else is wrong. Louise would, if she were here, she would say one of the most liberating things you can do is to let go of the word should. And you've all heard me speak of that before, because if I have a lot of that type of languaging going on inside of me, Louise would say I have a lot of rigidity, a lot of rigid beliefs. And then the next question, because I've heard so many of her seminars, would be, well, where did that come from? Where did you first hear that or have that idea? And usually we are repeating something that we learned when we're quite a bit younger. So we want to free ourselves of that. So today we're honoring freedom as a concept, freedom of our nation, freedom of our thinking. We want to celebrate the freedom that we have within ourselves to authentically live and live fully. Freedom means always knowing that we have the power to choose our own thinking and our beliefs. Freedom is knowing that we're not bound by the past also. That's the statement that I found in the textbook. Ernest Holmes said, principle is not bound by precedent. And so that's really a clever little, beautiful statement that was an exam question, I think, for the ministers. When we're talking about this divine principle, we're talking about life. We're talking about the way it works. It's not bound by anything. So we could be telling ourselves a story about how things are and how things have been, and we could build a case about this, that, or the other thing. But we can always be free in a new moment, and we can think a new thought. So that's one of the great gifts of new thought. We can see peace instead of anything. We don't have to live in judgment. We can refuse to be offended. We can really understand when we have differing points of view that everyone is doing the best they can with the knowledge that they have, with the understanding that they have. We're not here ever to judge anybody for anything. So we're not bound by the past. We're not bound by what we've done or what we've thought. We're in a new moment, and today's a new moment. Today's a new day. Raymond Charles Barker would say yesterday ended last night. Or if you're a member of any of the 12-step communities, you will hear them say that it's never too late to start your day over. So I know that many of us think of ourselves as works in progress, and I know we've made a lot of progress. So I want everyone to celebrate yourself because you've come a long way. I know I have, and I know you have as well. In the words of Louise Hay, again, the point of power is right now. It's in the present moment. And you get to create the present moment by what you're saying to yourself. Every moment is an opportunity to choose thoughts that uplift, thoughts that empower, and thoughts that heal. So it's always going to be about the conversation you're having within, and the conversation I say that you're having with the most important person in your world, which is you. Your outer world is a reflection of your inner thought. Our physical world and the entire cosmos operate under unified principles, and we as individual expressions of this unity are interconnected. So we're one with the one. We're one with the source energy. We're one with every other. We're one with all beings everywhere. We are points of awareness within this heart of God, this mind of God, this activity of God. So we understand that we live in it, we move in it. When we see another being, we know this is a spiritual being, it's a part of us. So intuitively we know to hurt another is to hurt ourselves. So what we're doing here in this teaching is we're learning to live. We're learning to level up. We're learning to hitch our wagon to the stars of bigger ideas. And we want to strive to live in alignment with a higher wisdom, where life and its people are not divided against each other. There's a lot of people making other people wrong, and it would be better for us to know that we're in the perfect place, the perfect time, and all of the time. And know that just as life is unfolding for us, it's unfolding for other people everywhere. So when we have this consciousness, when we live in this state of unity and we have the spiritual understanding, we recognize that everything is unfolding in perfect divine order. Even when circumstances seem most challenging, we trust that there's a higher purpose and a greater good unfolding. I was listening to a recent call that we were playing, and some of the remarks of people reacting to what's going on in the world. And then I smiled when they self-corrected. By that I mean, even when they were sharing, they were saying, and I know everything's in divine order. In other words, I know everything's unfolding in the perfect time, perfect place. So in religious science, when we're practicing this teaching, we're not here to make anybody wrong. We're not here to make ourselves wrong. We're not here to criticize ourselves in any way. We're not here to criticize other people. Louise was very clear when she said there's been too much of that. And she said, where did it ever get you? Where did it get you criticizing yourself? Where did it get you criticizing anyone? Each person is on their own spiritual journey, and it's wonderful. And people have some tough times and they have some good times, but they're always getting lessons that are appropriate and perfect for each and every individual. So we're on our own journey, and it is through compassion and understanding that we can support one another. We want compassion for ourselves. Part of Louise's message is we've got to love ourselves and stop criticizing ourselves. Never, never, never criticize ourselves. And as we learn to treat ourselves like our own best friend, and we really get generally better at taking care of ourselves, it's easier to extend that love to others once we have it within. Many have tried to do it the other way, take care of the world, but they don't really have that inner connection or that sense that I'm one with love, I'm one with light. But once you center yourselves in that divine reality that I'm one with the one, and you let that inform you, and you realize deep at the center of your being is this infinite energy, this loving presence, all creativity, everything is within you now. So by embracing that, we open ourselves up to complete freedom. We respect the freedom of other people and their choices. Then we can legitimately contribute to a world where love and unity prevail. See, the world doesn't need our judgment. I think most of you know that who are on the call, who come regularly. I have a few quotes for today on independence and freedom. The first from Louise. She said, "You've been criticizing yourself for years, and it hasn't worked. Try approving of yourself and see what happens." So that's the work. Loving ourselves, loving others, giving people the break. Just keep doing it. Keep practicing. Practice the presence. You can see peace instead of anything. You can see God and good instead of anything. We're here to be the lifters. Those of us who are really involved in the teaching. Edwina Gaines was one of my old teachers. Well, she's not. In other words, I was at enough of her seminars. She would keep on saying, we're here to see the God or the good and the God and the good. That's the kind of vision that we want to have. It's the practice. It's the commitment. It's living the affirmative life. We keep working with affirmations. We are committed to living the affirmative life. You can tie that directly into affirmative prayer or spiritual mind treatment in your glossary of the textbook, where Dr. Holmes will say it's the time. It's the time. It's the art. It's the method of ridding this negativity, just routing it out and being very patient with yourself, because we're all on the journey towards greater freedom, greater self-expression. So let's stop the criticism. Let's start loving ourselves more, becoming more mindful, taking more pauses or some moments for reflection throughout the day, and realize that you are supplied and supported, that you're an inlet and outlet of spiritual activity, God activity, and you have everything you'll ever need. So try approving of yourself, Louise would say, and see what happens. Next, I have a little quote from Ralph Waldo Emerson, which is good for a day of freedom. He says, "What lies behind us and what lies before us are tiny matters compared to what lies within us. So no matter what we're facing, no matter what we've been through, are tiny matters compared to the greatness within you. Each of you are individualizations of this spiritual activity, aspects of the divine. You come fully equipped. And it's entirely up to you to move forward with that knowing. Once you know that you are that, the thing you're looking for, you are that. Once you realize that you're the one you've been waiting for, and once you also realize that life responds to you, it's a great gift. So you settle in and you realize, okay, I'm responsible for my life experiences. I can definitely think a different way. I can see anything differently, and I will. It's my intention. So our next quote from Ernest Holmes about freedom, Holmes is saying, freedom is the birthright of every living soul. And he went on to say, all power lies within our own consciousness. Again from Holmes, freedom is the birthright of every living soul. All power lies within our own consciousness. That's nice. And then I have one from Nelson Mandela. You all know who he is, I presume. And he comments, for to be free is not merely to cast off one's chains, but to live in a way that respects and enhances the freedom of others. That's a beautiful statement. For to be free is not just to cast off all this old stuff, but it's to live in a way that respects and enhances the freedom of others. I've got one from Eleanor Roosevelt, and she says, with freedom comes responsibility. For the person who is unwilling to grow up, the person who does not want to carry his or her own weight, this is a frightening prospect. So yeah, we wake up in this teaching to the realization that I'm one with light, I'm one with love, I'm one with source energy, I'm one with higher power. And with this understanding comes quite a big responsibility, because we learn in Science of Mind that life is responding to you. There's nobody up in the sky is trying to mess you up or reward you or take anything away from you. Life is responding to you. And so Eleanor Roosevelt was saying, with freedom comes great responsibility. She's saying, grow up. We've got to carry our own weight. So that means we just need to continue doing the work. I find it works best when I stay plugged into the teaching, which I do often because I need to be, right? But over the years, the people who stay in the classes or stay by the classes, who are reading the material, who stay involved, they seem to go further because they don't get into a place where they forget. And we all forget. But it works best when we attempt to just have these habits. It could be meditation, it could be journal writing, it could be affirmative prayer, it could be attending our gatherings, listening to the rebroadcast. But any and all of these activities will help you remember that you are connected with Source. I next have Mahatma Gandhi. In terms of freedom, he will say the best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others. So you might try that. Louise Hay again will tell us that I'm always in the right place at the right time doing the right thing. So it is. We next have Albert Einstein, and he said, everything is really great. Everything that is really great and inspiring is created by the individual who can work in freedom. Everything that's really great and inspiring is created by the individual who can work in freedom. So I have one more for you. Franklin Roosevelt, in the truest sense, he said, in the truest sense, freedom can't be bestowed, it must be achieved. So I guess we have to wake up and realize that we live, we move, we have our being in divine activity. And deep at the center of our being, we're endowed with tremendous power. There's power for good in the universe, Ernest Holmes said, and we can use it. Life is responding to us all the time because it has to. So let's have a moment of reflection as we celebrate this 4th of July today, together, all of us. And for those of you who are not with us and you're traveling, I know you're with us in spirit and you'll be watching on one of the platforms. So let's reflect. Let's embrace the true meaning of independence. Let's be committed to freeing ourselves from the past. Let's commit ourselves to live fully in the present. Just yesterday ended last night. Let's let it go. We want to live fully in the present and be here now so we can step boldly into the future. Let us recognize that freedom always starts within, and it's through our own liberation that we can inspire and uplift others. So may we honor the journey of all those that came before us, and may we continue to strive for a world where everyone can experience joy and the power of true independence. Let's remember, in unity, there's always strength. As we align with this truth, this teaching, this divine wisdom, we create a world where love and understanding prevail. By respecting the freedom of others and choosing, this is our part, choosing thoughts that heal and choosing thoughts that empower by practicing the teaching, we contribute to the greater good. Today, may we all strive to live in alignment with divine wisdom, recognizing that everything is in divine order, and we trust in the unfolding process of life. I have a few affirmations for you for today's lesson. If you'd like to repeat after me. I'm one with the divine intelligence. My consciousness creates my reality now. I freely choose thoughts of peace, love, and abundance. I am a powerful creator, and my life is unfolding beautifully now. I am free to think, free to do, free to be. I have a little guided process for us. So let's take a moment to, maybe it'll bring in some of these ideas. We can just relax, find a comfortable position, maybe let your eyes be cast down for a moment. And take in a deep breath and exhale slowly. Feel the presence of spirit within. Breathe in, breathe out. Feel the presence of freedom within you. The boundless energy of the universe supporting you. Breathe that in. The presence of freedom. The boundless energy of the universe supporting you. Let's breathe in this light, this beautiful light. Visualize yourself casting off any limitations, any problems, any troubles. Visualize yourself just letting it go, where you can step into a space of infinite possibilities. And affirm silently after me, I'm free to be me. I love myself the way I am. I embrace the true essence, my true essence, and express my highest potential. Let's breathe that in again. I am free to be me. I love myself the way I am. I embrace my true essence, and I express my highest potential. Take another deep breath. And as you exhale, let's release any lingering doubts, any concerns, any worries, knowing that you are a powerful creator. You might say to yourself, I am a powerful creator, and the universe is unfolding in perfect harmony, guiding me towards my highest good. So you can think of yourself as a powerful creator, knowing that the universe is unfolding in perfect harmony, guiding you towards your highest good. And when you're ready, you can open up your eyes, feeling refreshed and empowered. So let's affirm one more time, now that we're all here. I'm worthy, I'm loved, I'm free. I'm free to create a life filled with joy and abundance. There's an added message with this lesson. We're all free, and we're all expressions of the divine, to the degree that we're conscious of our connection to this indwelling presence. So we want to wake up to it. In the first step of affirmative prayer, we want to recognize and know that there is power in the universe. It's a presence. It's never an absence. And we're all expressions of this divine power to the degree that we are conscious of our connection. So we want to be conscious. We want to know that we live in it, we move in it, we have our being in it. And as we evolve, and we're all evolving and learning to live affirmative lives, we are surrendering ideas, lesser ideas, and we're learning to trust spirit, realizing that there's guidance, always inner guidance available to us. So let's acknowledge that there is inner guidance, and we're free to go there. We're free to call upon it, knowing that deep at the center of yourself, there is this divine activity that responds. As we practice knowing that we're alive in it, as we work with it, there's a quickening that happens for us and within us. We all, as we do this, we begin to realize that it's all spirit, all God, if you will. There's this divine energy that's in you, operating through you. And today you realize that same energy is in everyone, everywhere. As we practice this affirmative life, we acquire higher and higher degrees of self-realization, greater and greater freedom, enabling us to tap into the workings of the universe itself. In this teaching, we become practitioners. We practice. We practice living with positive expectancy. We free ourselves from so much. And we experience manifestation after manifestation. You've all heard before, the kingdom of good is at hand. It is. It always has been. We've not always been able to see it, but now we see. Now we can see it. We become practitioners. We practice seeing and knowing the presence, seeing and knowing positive expectancy. And as we do, we experience good and more good. Louise taught us the point of power is always in the present moment. So think about the power that you have available right now in this moment, the freedom, the power you have. What choices can you make right now to create a better life for yourself? You're free. You're free to choose. How can you use this moment to step into your power? Let's affirm together. Please repeat after me. I'm the creator of my reality. I freely choose thoughts that uplift and empower me. My life is a reflection of my divine potential. I am free. I'm free to live my highest truth. Ernest Holmes, our founder, way back in 1937, defined the spiritual meaning of freedom. And he said, throughout history, humanity has yearned for freedom from various forms of bondage. It could be oppression, fear, lack, or uncertainty. We seek freedom from external forces that limit our potential and hinder our sense of security. Louise Hay, later a practitioner and advocate of New Thought principles, highlighted the importance of self-love and self-knowledge in releasing what binds us so we can be free. Many people are not free because they struggle with feeling unworthy, they feel rejected, but not good enough. They alienate themselves from their true essence as spiritual beings. The New Thought teachings guide us towards breaking free of all these self-imposed limitations and help us in embracing our inherent worth and our divine connection. Louise often reminded us, again, I'm in the right place at the right time doing the right thing. So let's affirm, I am connected to the divine. I'm free to be my true self. I'm expanding into greater freedom each and every day. So we want to breathe out all in. We want to know it's true. And now it's time for us to close. We know that freedom is an inside job. We recognize that we are one with the one energy, that we're on a personal journey of awakening to the interconnectedness of life. I declare that we are one with life, that we're evolving in freedom. I declare that we're all supplied and supported as we move towards greater and greater self-expression. Now it's time for our personal sharing. It's time for us to share what's come up for you during this week, what it's been like being you this week, We look forward to hearing from everyone, your thoughts on freedom. Each person has a couple minutes to share, so please feel free to share your thoughts. If you're new, please say, "Hi, I'm new, I'm from wherever you're from." That's it, so we'll see you in a moment. Thank you.